this is Manesh Patel from the EII Capital Group. Today is May 29, 2011. This is our weekly Ichimoku analysis where we cover the global markets, where we start off in the US, we go to Europe, and then we go to Asia. Normal disclaimer, this is for educational use only. All charts are in Thinkorswim Trade Station or freestockcharts.com. Here are my contact details, and you can also access our free videos here at Ichimoku Trade, or follow us on Twitter here at Ichimoku Trading. Okay, so let's begin. We normally begin by looking at global markets. We typically start off with the Frankfurt market. Remember, this is the weekly time frame for all the charts. Okay, if you look at the chart here, basically we're not really doing anything. We're still on a bullish trend, believe it or not, for the German market, but it's got to break below 7,000 to start entering a major pullback, which we've yet to do that at all. This really, it's at 71.63. For it to start retesting the highs and maybe start going higher, we got to start getting above 7,300 in order for this trend to start continuing. And let's look at the London market, which is a little more weak than the German. If you look at the London market now, we're still consolidating, nothing really new there. Major support levels at 5,800 and major resistance levels are at 6,100. Nothing really there going on at all. However, if you look last week, if you look here, we're closer to Tinkerton on the London market compared to the German market. So London may have a little more bullish tilt right now than the German, but just be careful there. Paris, if you look at Paris, same thing as the German market right now. So that's kind of become equal now, because if you look at this chart and look at this chart, the pattern now in the recent couple of weeks has become the same. Now, this didn't have a quite big percent movement upward in its trend here as it did in the German market right here, but if you look at it right now, the markets are all equal. It's at its major, it's getting very close to its major support level of 3,900, and its resistance level is at 4,000. So all the markets are pretty much at a point where if they break down some more, they can start entering some major pullbacks. Or if they break up, they can start entering a bullish trend, the continuation for bullish trend upwards. If you look at South Africa, really nothing there, it's just consolidating. If you look at Israel, nothing really there either, it's consolidating. Turkey, look at Turkey, Turkey's starting to break down right now. It really needs to start moving down some more and then pull back, and then it gets really set up for a bearish trend, but so Turkey's on the weak side right now. If you look at Russia, it's been holding right now. It's under a major pullback. We finally got a little more upward movement. It's got to break this 30-10 level here if it goes up, and then it's got to break it in order to start a continuation trend to go up. Let's go out to Asia. Look at Shanghai. It broke down. It did not continue to go up here. It did not hold its support levels at all, and it actually broke down below the cloud, which is not good at all for the Shanghai market. Right now, you can't really, the sentiment is bearish, but you can't say the bearish trend is very strong at all. You got to wait and see what happens here. But if this consolidates anymore, it's going to start turning the future count to bearish, and you could start getting a bearish tilt to the Chinese market, believe it or not, which is going to completely destroy things. We really thought the support levels were going to hold, but hey, this is why you look at the charts. Because when they start breaking down, that's when you can really see that the fundamentals are really meeting up with the technicals, and it shows you that technicals show that this really broke down and didn't hold at all. If you look at the Hong Kong market, we're basically still consolidating, nothing really there. Nikkei market, nothing really here at all. We're starting to break down a little more here. So if this starts pushing down some more, the Nikkei market can be getting into a bearish trend, believe it or not, where it's going to go back to 9,000 and maybe even go lower. So you got to wait to see what happens, but a little push movement down is going to start a panic, and things are going to start becoming bearish as far as the Nikkei is concerned. The Indian market here, if you look at the Indian market here, little movement down, as we said, we got to start seeing this thing close below 18,000. If it does, it's going to get to 7,500. But the Indian market is, believe it or not, bearish right now. Sentiment's gone bearish, and the trend is starting to get stronger to the bears than to the bulls. In order to break that, it's got to get above 19,000 and close above that as far as the end of the week is concerned. If you look at the Australian market, it's basically consolidating, nothing really there. Mexico market, really consolidating, nothing really there. And Brazil market, really nothing there either because it's consolidating. So let's come to the U.S. market. The Dow has basically been leading all the U.S. markets, actually globally too. If you look at the charts here, it's bullish trending right now. It's at a major resistance level right now. Support level is going to be basically 12,000. If you look at the daily time frame here, you can see this massive movement upward down. Last week we had a couple of points going up, but it really got to start breaking 12,550. If it does, then it's going to start moving upwards. But really, this thing really got to, believe it or not, break about 12,700 in order to even start a bullish trend as far as the daily is concerned. So you know, it looks like these markets are consolidating drastically right now, and there's no trend at all as far as the Dow is concerned. Let's look at the ES. If you look at the ES, the charts pretty much look the same, just like the Dow. It's got to break above 1337 for us to even start looking at this to becoming bull. But in theory, it's got to break above 1355 to even start looking this as being a bullish trend to start occurring. But basically, this is just consolidating, nothing really there. So Dow and ES are kind of on equal ground completely. Let's go look at the NASDAQ to see if there's a little edge there. NASDAQ, nothing there. In fact, this looks a little more weaker because it's getting close to the Cajun Sin major support level at 2302, which is not too far away at all. If you look at the daily time frame here, the chart just looks ugly and is basically consolidating, so nothing really there. If you're going to do pairs trade, I definitely would go long Dow, the E-mini S&P futures, and short the NASDAQ, and you'll probably still be good. Let's go look at the Russell. If you look at the Russell, same thing as the Dow and the ES, nothing really there. This thing's really got to break above 850 in order to start a bullish trend to the top side, but 860 would make the trend become very strong if it could get there. That's it for this week. Hope you enjoyed it. Speak to you next week.